Hello, everybody. Welcome. Happy New Year. It's the first XJ Cloud stream of 2025. We're back. We're back to playing some standard. I was playing some legacy in prep for the qualifier thingy. Then we did pretty badly, and shit happens. Not a lot of legacy events between now and the Pro Tour. I think there's like one showcase challenge in like late January or early February or something, but like definitely shifting gears more and trying to focus on like standard for the next 2 months. Legacy's in a weird spot. It's kind of interesting. It just really feels like the meta hasn't figured itself out yet. So it is a little bit convenient for me to take the back seat very briefly. Let them sort themselves out, and maybe I'll tackle it a little bit going into like the next couple of showcases. But we're gonna back it up for standard. We had a GP Atlanta. What are they called? It was like an SCG something. They're not called SCGs anymore though. SCG was just running the event. But we had what are basically GPs, GP Atlanta. So I had no idea what I was playing tonight. I wasn't very prepared, so I figured we'd just like peruse some of the GP. Hang on, I think I found it. What is this called? Magic Spotlight series. So yeah, GP Atlanta. Found the Melee link. I figured I would just look through some of the lists and maybe pick out something to play tonight. And then obviously forget to put it on flex slot after I choose it, and everyone will ask me what the list is. But the two decks that I've been trying mostly, both actually like placed pretty highly. Both Domain Zur, and mono white tokens, mono white, whatever you want to call it, the Beza over Enduring Innocence, Caretaker's Talent deck. So I'm pretty happy because I like both of those decks. I'm leaning pretty hard towards this deck. After playing it, the very first build I played, I didn't really like very much, but then I'm playing a build that looks probably very similar to this, I think. Standard D&T. I call the mono white list standard D&T because it does play very much like D&T. It's just like a control deck with like an absurd end game. It's very hard to deal with. I don't really know what the differences here are. Some main deck split ups. These like spot removal spells main deck are a little bit different. There's an Elspeth Smite here, an Archangel Elspeth, but I did find the Overlord of the Mistmores was really, really good in this deck. The very first list I tried played 0, and then I tried one that just had 4. It just felt much better. There are a lot of like little piddly flyers in this format. It's nice to make 2/2/1s that block pretty well against the Siren, Spyglass Siren. A lot of like flying 1/1 and stuff like that. A lot of things in like the Dimir decks that you want to block. But if I was gonna, I would definitely try just like literally card for card Austin Graham's list. He got 10th place, and it's just like this deck has been performing well. I don't know about I didn't really like look at all like the GP Atlanta data to see like the win rates of the decks or whatever. But I also kind of was curious about some of the decks that I hadn't tried that were kind of interesting, like Esper Pixie. This deck had been picking up a lot in popularity and did have a very good win rate. But yeah, like 3 mono white tokens players in the top 32, top 25 at least. But I might just try this deck because I have not played it before, and it was pretty cool. Did seem like the meta was turning on this deck in a pretty real way, or at least had started to. We're seeing like obstinate Baloths and Wiltleaf Lieges in sideboards, which is pretty terrifying to think about, but I'm leaning towards trying the Esper Pixie deck. Not a lot of other decks are really catching my eye. Guess I'll look at the domain list. Surprising that there are only 3 Zers in this deck. I guess maybe with like Analyze the Pollen, you don't want to draw them as much. You can always tutor it when you need to. I'll never understand what this Doppelgang is doing. Is it just like the super grindy matchup Mirror Breaker? These mana bases look like a mess every time. they've I just like also like think this deck has a pretty heinous mono red matchup, or Groll, I guess, is the mono red flavor now. You just like play against these decks and you just instantly die. Mono is kind of the opposite, where you could like farm the shit out of this deck, but you instantly die to some of the other stuff. Having played Doppelgang, it's really hard to lose a game where you resolve Doppelgang. But, like, what matchups is that? I guess you just play one in the grindy matchups because they take 100 years and you just eventually find it and you cast Doppelgang, X equals, like, 3, and then they die. It just seems like there's one glued to every single Zur sideboard, and just, like, what is this for? When the field looks like this, why are we boarding it in? Boarding it in against the mono-white tokens players, I guess. We're not playing. We have to respect the format. I don't know what you want. I get that is fair. That's very understandable. Doppelgang is definitely a really fucking sweet card to resolve. That's for sure. Also, the Team Marauders deck looks so sick, but there's a 0% chance I'll pick this up for Chicago. if Sanctum of All could hold my hand and walk me through exactly how this deck works, then I could definitely be tricked into playing this deck. But thankfully, that isn't going to happen. So I can dodge that outcome, because the deck is sweet. It's like old standard Jeskai Ascendancy. I love that shit. This deck is like just so way too big a brain. Like Jason and CFT Sock. Just like huge fucking brains. Like, I'll never understand what like we're doing with the 1 dissection tools and the 3 Llanowar elves, and like I don't even know what Bonehorde Dracosaur is. Sure, what I don't know. Just play Pixie. It's sweet like ours, but not bad. Yeah, that's probably understandable. I'm thinking I'm just I'll at least try Pixie. I've heard this deck is very cool. It looks very cool, and it has bad white cards, which is like the best thing a deck can have is bad white cards. And Nurturing Pixie absolutely qualifies as a bad white card. This card fucking sucks. Pretty sure it's the best deck. Interesting. Knock, roll, then die. Thanks for the follow. It did have like a really, really good win rate this weekend, right? I gotta read. This is just like more cards that you could like pick up and put back down to kill stuff in like the removal matchups. Either this or Groll, and I could be convinced to play Groll, but it's at the bottom of the decks that I would play. It's like, if there was no deck that like really spoke to me, then I would definitely like begrudgingly play Groll and be like okay with it. I can play aggro decks from time to time, just like, you know, close to mono red smush. I used to do that a lot, like a decade ago in Standard. Back with Ash Zealot and Boros Reckoner. Now we have Boros Reckoner with haste, and they never get to gain life again. Is really fucked up when you think about it like that. And then we have Ash Zealot, but it also like draws a card every turn. Ash Zealot plus Dark Confidant. Also, wait, that one doesn't get bigger, right? It's just the one drop that gets bigger. I still don't know the text on some of these standard cards sometimes. No, it doesn't get bigger. Or it just draws cards. It does have prowess, though, so it does get bigger sometimes. Anyway, what is Azorius aggro? Is this just like blue-white? What the fuck is this? What are we doing here? This deck does not look very... It's got a lot of bad white cards, but wow, this deck is just... I guess this is just like as many shitters as possible plus Enduring Curiosity. Yeah, this card makes sense. Alright. Yeah, that deck does not look very appealing. And then there's the Octolus deck just looks very anti-me. It's just like you just futz around with your cards and try to like cheat abhorrent Oculuses or massive haughty Jins into play, that sort of thing. But just like, I hate these sort of like wheel spinning decks. 4 Opt, 4 Moment of Truth, 4 Picklock Prankster, 3 Shard of Course, 3 Phantom Interference. Not a spinning wheels card. But you get the idea. These decks that just like take 5-game actions that don't matter and then pass the turn. God, I hate doing that. That's my least favorite thing in Magic. So anyway, all that is to say, let's play the Pixie deck, I guess. Is this the Pixie deck with good mana? I saw someone tweet about how they fixed the Pixie deck and made the mana good, or their team did. Nicole Tipple is definitely a trustworthy deck to copy, I think. Very good Magic player. Fuck Opt Tribal. Yeah, exactly. You get me. Opt Tribal, my least favorite thing to do in every. It was Ellenbogen who teamed with Nicole. Oh, okay. Ellenbogen said, yeah, it was Ellenbogen, right? I could probably just like check Twitter, but I do think you're right. I think it was Ellenbogen that tweeted that like their list was fixed. And then if Nicole teamed with Ellenbogen, then presumably the list would have the good mana. Our team's Pixie players had a 71% win rate. Wow, 58% win rate for Pixie overall. Nicole bullied Ellenbogen into playing the best deck. And shout out to everyone on the Team System Magic for an incredibly clean list and mana base. Hashtag the System Magic difference. Alright, I can respect that. Andrew also 11-4. Jeez. Alright, let's do it. Esper, Pixie. This deck seems sweet. Wait, try that again. I was going to play this deck earlier. I saw it like blowing up on Twitter and stuff. And I was like, I don't know if this deck's bait or not. I'm going to wait for the GP to tell me if this deck is bait. And then the GP showed up, and the deck definitely didn't seem like bait, I guess. Because it did incredibly well. I'm going to have to read a lot of my own cards, though. Oh, thank God the Moto version has flavor text, or has reminder text on curse roll tokens. I was so scared that I was going to have to look up how this worked. Alright. If you control another roll on it, put that one in the graveyard and enchant creature as a 1/1. So the idea with this is that it is... if you can, like, pick up the cursed roll with your Pixies and Fear of Isolations, right? So the whole thing about this deck is that, I guess for people that are watching this that don't know, that aren't standard fanatics, you have Nurturing Pixie, you have Fear of Isolation. Both of these cards let you return non-land permanents to your hand, or kind of force you to in some cases, and then you have a lot of enchant things that ETB and do a thing. Storm Teacher's Challenge, it makes a guy. Hopeless Nightmare makes your opponent discard a card, nowhere to run, kills the thing, stuff like that. So you just get a bunch of value out of picking up your thing and recasting it, and picking up your thing and recasting it, and then you have a bunch of like pretty like cheap evasive things to pair with your removal spells. Almost feels like a tempo deck in some ways. I gotta read this card, huh? Just another thing to pick up and put down, but it also I guess it's just a late game mana sink. No, is there anything in this deck that triggers Defiled Crypt besides the other side of this? Whenever one or more cards leave your graveyard. Anything in this? I guess level 2 of Storm Chaser's talent. I think that's it. This is just a loop with your guy. Yeah, like you play the Cadaver Lab, get back Pixie, play Pixie, get back Cadaver Lab, play Cadaver Lab. It's just infinite, like it is just an infinite value sort of thing. I was just wondering if there's like a lot of reason to play Defiled Crypt, except for the case of I have 5 mana and nothing else to do. How many Thalias are we playing? I don't think Thalia is legal in this format. I've not cast a Thalia this year yet.
Wow. Wow. Are you ashamed of yourself?
Not really. I gotta read some of these cards. This is just pick up, put down removal spells. Cool. It also does, like, make your opponent's like a 1/1 if you just let it go all the way to the end, right? Wait, no. Attached to creature you control, so it's bad to get to chapter 3. That's, wait, Wicked Roll's this, right? No, that's a cursed roll. God. What's a Wicked Roll? MTG rolls. Why does this one have the reminder text? Could they not fit it? I guess it's because it's a fucking saga. It's just got infinite text on it already. Wicked roll. Associated with red-black creature gets +1/+1. When this aura is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, each opponent loses one. Oh, that's the one that people played Not Dead After All. That created a wicked roll. Today I learned. Wicked roll turns you green and starts a musical number. Sure, yeah, these cards all make sense. I'll flounder around with sideboarding when we get there. Kaito, just generically good card. Classic for the grindy matchups. Alright, let's just play some Magic. Alright, hang on. Let's actually post this deck on FlexSlot/Stream Decker before I forget. So people can see the list that I'm playing that I've stolen from Nicole Tipple. Posted on Stream Decker. Logging into FlexSlot. Esper Pixie. I should probably call it standard, huh? Probably should have called it standard in the on the other one too, but whatever. Public. Create. How many times are we gonna get Obstinate Baloth tonight, chat? There are 2 Obstinate Baloths that are standard legal. It's fucked up. I used to be the Wiltleaf Liege player. I've played D&T back when Wiltleaf Liege was a classic sideboard card. I don't own a foil, though. I didn't foil out D&T before that tech got phased out. It was good, like 2013 era Death and Taxes, back when like Shardless Bug was a thing and people were like regularly casting Liliana of the Veil and Hymn to Turok, stuff like that. I don't even know. I guess good is pretty arguable, but it was played back then. So this deck just wants... You have a lot of good things you want to be casting on turn 1, right? All these cards are pretty good on turn 1. Pixie's like kind of a 2-drop in that you want to cast it on turn 2 into your 1-drop. That's a bad example, but like into your 1-drop again. Yeah, it seems like pretty demanding mana. It makes sense that you're just like on a pile of fast lands and pain lands. Yeesh. Sand's probably a mulligan, huh? Alright, this hand looks much better. You can keep this bottom the Underground River. Do I want white? Probably not, right? This deck wants blue the most. You have very little actual white cards, so you want blue. So we want, yeah, it's a base blue-black deck splashing for white 1-drops, classic. But we can probably bottom the Caves of Koilos. And go like Storm Chaser's Talent into Pixie, Storm Chaser's Talent into Isolation, Storm Chaser's Talent. Oh, that would require double blue too, yeah. This, yeah. Alright, cool. My opponent has asked me, hey, did your partner do all the grief paintings on Twitter?
What?
My opponent in chat just asked, hey, did your partner do all the grief paintings on Twitter?
Yes.
They say that was hilarious.
Thank you. That's very nice of them to say.
Alright. Underground Mortuary, Basic Forest. This is just like red, black, or green, black shitters. I'm just wondering if like I ever want to play Spiteful Hexmage instead, but probably not.
Husband, can you take a screenshot of that for the Dark Birds?
Okay. Storm Chaser's Talon, definitely not a card I figured I would find myself casting. Oh. Beans. Is there a green-black beanstalk deck that I'm missing? I also could, like, play... Interesting that you could actually Spiteful Hexmage the Otter token, right? And, like, it doesn't actually do anything, basically. You just get some 3/2s. Probably just want to make more Otters or whatever. Oh god, that's my Discord. It would open on my main screen. I don't want that. Really don't know what's happening over there, but I guess I'm supposed to just beat them the hell down. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, we could just Optimistic Scavenger Hexmage. The enchantments work with Optimistic Scavenger, right? That's just a combo. We just put them on the Otter. And it doesn't change because it's just getting prowess buffs. So we just beat him the heck down. I'm gonna get Wrathed. I have to get Wrathed next turn though, right? That seems terrible for me. How much damage do we deal? It's like 100% chance there's like the 5-mana collect evidence Wrath, and we're just gonna die too. If I just go all in like that. Do I have an alternate plan though? How much damage would that be? Not a ton. Optimistic Scavenger can put the counters on other things, which is nice. Do I just have to set it for lethal and hope that they don't have the Wrath? Just Fear of Isolation, Storm Chaser's Challenge, nothing else afterwards. Is casting like Fear of Isolation better? I'm left with like 2 Spiteful Hex Mages, or maybe Fear of Isolation, Spiteful Hex Mage. Fear of Isolation, pick up Storm Chaser's Challenge, Spiteful Hex Mage. Doesn't add any power or buff the Otters, so it just doesn't deal damage. I think I'm just gonna go in and hope that they don't have the Wrath. Can I just attach it? If I attach it to the same creature, if you control another roll on it, put that one in the graveyard. So it doesn't matter. I get a second trigger, right? Yeah. I don't know if there's a different Wrath I'm supposed to be playing around. But like a -2/-2 sort of effect. Well, hopefully I don't die, huh? That doesn't seem good. Seems like the 5-mana Wrath. Oh, that's just overloaded the Balemark. That seems great for me. Oh, yeah, there's a Harvester of Misery, notably. Good thing to play around. Are you dead? There's no way this is lethal, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This might be. I think this is. This is +2 enchantments, too. Oh, this is part of the cost. Okay. Two, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, this is lethal. milled the -2/-2 guy. Makes sense in a Beanstalk list. Maybe they don't have the Wrath. Just kind of a green-black Beanstalk deck. No Moralize, I guess. Destroy Evil. Kills big creatures and enchantments. These are all removal spells. These are going to be bad. Kaito is probably pretty good here. I think I probably want these, and I can think about these. What don't I want? My nowhere to runs seem pretty bad here. Not a lot of creatures for them to target, presumably. I could potentially cut, like, Tithing Blade or go for the throat. Those can clear up the big guys if they do enter play. Oops. Something like this. Am I interested in Destroy Evil or Laron? I think I mostly want to stay as an aggro deck, but I mean, I'm cutting these mopey removal spells. They might have like Land of War Elves though. Could easily be a Land of War Elves deck. And maybe you want like some cheap removal. Oh, and I guess maybe we want this too. Kind of forgot that was there. Let's just do this. That card seems pretty good. The room seems really good at rebuilding with like all the bounce idiots. Sand is a little awkward, huh? We have the Hopeless Nightmare half, but we don't have any sort of Kaito enablers. Maybe I'm not supposed to keep it. And we also don't have any white mana, so if we draw any of the bouncy guys, we can't actually bounce them. We can turn 2, pick up... I don't like this hand, but I think maybe I'll keep it. This hand looks awful. Well, fair enough. You're probably right. I believe in the power of Kaito. I've also never cast a Kaito before. Nice, this card says each opponent, so I don't have to click on them. Thank you, EDH. Believe in the power of the London Mole. That's understand. I don't think this hand is very good, but I also don't really know what I'm doing, so... Don't really want to bounce anything on their turn 3, do I, huh? Thank you, EDH streamer is dead to me. Well, sometimes EDH design gets you a win, you know? I don't think I'm picking up my Hopeless Nightmare and bouncing their Beanstalk. I'll just draw a card, it'll be fine. Oh, well, that's, I guess, technically a card. Counter literally anything that moves into cast Kaito. Okay, I said literally anything that moves, but I don't really want to counter that one, huh? I could just, like, bounce it. Or Kaito it. I think I just want to bounce it and play Kaito. Then they play Glissa again. Then I can tap it down, I guess. I have Hopeless Nightmare back in my hand. Could also potentially draw something and just hold up the No Moralize again. And not, if I like draw a different creature. Does that count? It's a 1/1. It's not a very good creature, huh? I think I'm fine tapping out for Kaito here. I guess it would enable Ninjutsu Kaito, but also I don't really think that matters that much. We have a second Kaito, so I think I'm fine just plusing this. This thing can just... if this thing gets blocked, it loses loyalty counters, right? I haven't actually done combat with a Kaito ever. Because it's a creature and a planeswalker, so if it takes damage, it will lose loyalty counters. But we can just, like, stun this close to an attack. Which seems pretty okay to me, I guess. I could also ninjutsu my Kaito in. Using Kaito, right? Just go crazy. He's not a planeswalker creature, right? Is he not? Oh, yeah, he's not. So it's like how Sarkhan works, not how like Gideon works. So it can take lethal damage, like from a first striking Death Toucher. I see. Do I just want to ninjutsu in another Kaito? Off my Kaito? For more surveils? Or like to start drawing cards? Is that bad? Is that weird? I could just like do that, hold up Normalize, rather than just like cast a fucking 1/1. Or cast a Hopeless Nightmare and hold up Normalize. I guess it's like 3 mana draw a card, huh? Which is not very good. 3 mana draw a card, gain 1 loyalty counter. Could also plus it instead of zeroing, but I probably just want to 0. Oh god, I can't even see what the... Alright, these cards work well together. I'm not casting either of them right now, because I'm going to hold up Normalize this turn. I do like Fear of Isolation a lot. I think I'll keep both, though. And just go, like, Hopeless Nightmare, or Fear of Isolation, Hopeless Nightmare next turn. I don't even want to counter this. Probably just should, but it's just like a 5/4 that I could just tap down and attack again and just hold up the Normalize for a turn that matters. This card doesn't do anything. Just tap it out, down, attack for 4, put them to 10, and then like Hopeless Nightmare, Fear of Isolation, Hopeless Nightmare is 4 mana. I get to hold up the Normalize again. Seems pretty fine to me. They go to 6, something like that. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Oh god. The card seems... blue. Whatever. So now if they kill the Fear of Isolation, they take another 2 damage as well, because I can... They just don't have anything? Are you dead? My Kaito has hexproof on my turn. Oh no, this is a Smuggler Surprise, right? That's literally what this is. It's 6 mana. Well, now they're dead to the Normalize, so... No thanks. Dead. We did it. Easy peasy. Alright, let me turn off the screen for a second so I can steal my Discord back. Just gonna post this image. There we go. All according to plan. Definitely didn't keep that really bad hand and get bailed out by my opponent not doing anything. Worked out for me. That Kaito card is kind of messed up, though. I don't know how I'm supposed to, like... This deck's kind of hard to view. It's kind of hard to imagine what this deck's like. It has a lot of, like, inherent value built in, but it also is, like, pretty inherently, like, a very aggressive deck, right? Like, this hand is just very aggressive. But also just, like, mind rots your opponent a bunch. And theoretically, like, makes a bunch of card advantage for bouncing other permanents. We'll keep this. I almost F6'd because I just assumed I was on the draw. That would have been pretty stupid. Alright, so we can sequence this in any number of ways here. I think the standard is pretty easy, just Hopeless Nightmare turn 1, rather than, like, tap land turn 1 for Fear of Isolation. Or Spiteful Hexmage. We could, like, maybe get aggro depending on the matchup, where you go turn 1 Spiteful Hexmage, turn 2 Fear of Isolation, pick up the roll. Build your own Wild Nacatl, but I think in general you're just better off casting Hopeless Nightmare for the next like 3 or 4 turns. Monstrous Rage discard. Okay, so we're playing against mono red or some variant. Mono red, green red, red white. Pretty good. I'm allowed to just ignore this for a turn, right? Because they can't really get it out of range. The longer I ignore, the more damage it's going to deal to me. So it might just be cleaner to kill it. But you might want to kill, like, the 2/2, or, like, the stupid double strike thing instead. But then also, we could Fear of Isolation our Nowhere to Run and just kill everything, right? That's maybe better. Turn 2... Nowhere to Run this. Turn 3, tap land, Fear of Isolation, Nowhere to Run. Just have a bunch of removal spells. There's not a lot of punishment in waiting, though, right? Because they can't, in response, like, Monstrous Rage is only going to give it +2, and the Valiant only triggers 1, so I don't think there's a card that gets it out of range, and they can't, like, you can't protection spell this. So I think it's fine to wait. I don't know if there's a card that punishes you. But, like, maybe they play the 2/2 or whatever instead. The 2/2 haste prowess thing instead, and I want to kill that. I'm ready to get punished by something. Maybe they play, like, the double strike mouse or Innkeeper's Talent, sure. This beats Innkeeper's Talent? Yeah, ward abilities don't trigger. Kill your thing. Wait, that's how that works? I actually don't take damage because of Nowhere to Run reduces its power? Wow, I didn't even think about that. That's so funny. I'll take that back. We could potentially Nowhere to Run plus Spiteful X-Mage. If magic was good, you'd gain 2 life. I did briefly think about that. Well, then they just target themselves, right? Is this just this turn? Until end of turn, you may play that card. Nice, they hit a 2-drop. No value for you. It is a little dangerous if I try to kill this. If I try to Nowhere to Run this, though, because they could Monstrous Rage it. That would be very bad for me. It also just has prowess, so it's actually really dangerous to kill. It's each opponent? I thought this... Everything says each opponent, huh? My Hopeless Nightmare, my opponent's Heartfire Hero. They have any spell. I can't actually know where to run this Ember Heart Challenger. That seems a little bit spooky, huh? Commander. Yeah, see, now Commander player is SMH because it's my opponent's card. They have 3 cards in hand. We could, like, Fear of Isolation, Hopeless Nightmare them. That's a pretty mana inefficient. Also, as soon as they get to their turn, they're just going to Innkeeper's Talent this. And then it's going to become like a 5/5. And then I just fucking die. I could just Fear of Isolation go and try to, like, get this in combat. Or if I know where to run it, and then they, like, pump it, I can still double block or something. Maybe that's more wise. I feel like it's a pretty small ask for them to have literally any spell. And then if that's the case, I know where to run this, get no value. And then, like, they just have a 5/5 in play that I can't really even double block. This seems pretty bad for me, yeah. So we will, I think, just cast Fear of Isolation, pick up Hopeless Nightmare, and then say go. And then know where to run this at the beginning of, or I guess in their main phase. Because I can't let them go to beginning combat, otherwise they get a target for free. I guess they could always just not attack, though, and then I'm kind of up shit creek again. But they know that I have the nowhere to run to. Things just seem kind of bad overall, huh? Level 2 does nothing, so that's completely fine. Like, it has Ward 1, but ward abilities of those creatures don't trigger. But if they go to combat, it's going to become a... no, it's going to be a 4/4 with a Valiant. With the... that gets lets them draw a card. They cast a thing in response, trigger its prowess. Yep. But now they can't attack. We have the ability to Fear of Isolation in order to run and try to, like, block it. They're, like, drawing a card every turn. They drew another Emberheart Challenger. It's all pretty bad. This thing's gonna get out of control. I don't really know what my plan is now. Draw, go for the throat. Is there other cards in my deck that can beat this thing? I guess, like, Kaito. This town ain't big enough. Alright, I got a fair number of cards that can beat this thing. Tithing Blade. I got a decent chunk of stuff that can answer this giant mouse. I guess they were thinking about whether or not they wanted to put the counter on the other Emberheart Challenger. Attack, 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 attack. Dang. Alright. They also just didn't cast this. That's weird. Should I be scared of this? Levels up at 4 and it starts putting 2 counters on this every turn? That is pretty terrifying. I think we're just going to Hopeless Nightmare them. See what's going on over there. Discard Soulstone Sanctuary, I suppose. Do I pick up the Nowhere to Run again just to like try to be able to block this in combat with my 3 ugly ass nightmares? This thing does what? Creates maps on attacking. It's either that or discard their last card with Hopeless Nightmare, but that doesn't seem very good. I think we just tried to like brick wall this thing somewhat. So we Fear of Isolation again. Pick up the Nowhere to Run again, and then pray to God we can beat this in combat at some point while they're like drawing 2 cards every turn. We just need to top deck one of the bounce spells, or the Go for the Throats, or the Kaitos, or Kaito wouldn't even be like super exciting because they're still like Innkeeper's Talent is just a like outpost siege for them. Torch the tower. Oh god, what is this? Fucking, you can sacrifice an artifact, a chamber, a token, and it deals 3 to a permanent, and you scry 1 and exiles. Sure. I'm pretty sure I can still like just triple block if they full send. You can only kill 1. Takes 4. Gets Nowhere to Run. So that's effective 8. No, it's effective 7 damage on it. I'm threatening. So it would be bad if they had like another monstrous rage. Alright, cool. Let me take those. Sure. Level 3 now. That's allowed. I scry 2 and you just sack this for 3 mana? Huh. Do I want to sack this on my upkeep? Try to draw specifically. I actually don't have. I could be in danger of getting counter. Yeah, because I can't actually I can't kill the Empire Challenger while my Nowhere to Run is out of play because it has Ward 1. So if I paid 3 mana, I couldn't like. I think I'm just gonna take a Natural Trust up. Yeah, we'll sack it this turn. Must be better than activating Restless Anchorage, right? Just play this. Sack Hopeless Nightmare. I guess I'll enchant one of the Fears of Isolation. Taking less power out of play. Hey, Army, how's it going? I think it's gonna be an 8/8 now. Deeply terrifying. They activate their Outpost Siege. That's also the... What's the... Oh god, another Keeper's Talent. I guess they don't draw more cards, it's just more counters. There's another siege. The white siege like put 2 counters on your thing every turn. This is just both of those. If they shove, I don't think I'm just gonna close my eyes and block with everything. But I think they're relatively favored the longer this game goes. Oh god. Citadel Siege, yeah, that one. You're gonna make me think about this, opponent. I didn't want to think about this. You only have 2 cards in hand. This is a 5/5 if I know where to run it. It kills only 2 of the things that block. It's a 5/5. I need, if they kill this, if they have 1 removal spell, I still trade. If they have 2 removal spells as the last 2 cards in hand, then we eat shit. They actually all removal spell. This is a 5/5. They only kill 1 Fear of Isolation. I guess I'm supposed to block first, huh? Shoot. You don't have to order blockers anymore. Kill one of my things. Oh, it has proud. Oh, fuck. Yeah, I forgot. I think we're still okay. Oh, no, we're not okay. This is pretty bad for me, huh? Because now it's not an 8/8. And only 5 damage here. But it's a 6/6 kills most of my things. Oh, this is pretty bad. We may have goofed this one, huh? I also, like, didn't have a lot of better options. I certainly wasn't going to just take 9, right? This Nowhere to Run probably just needs to be cast because I need it in play. It also saves my 3rd Fear of Isolation, unless they have another spell. Outpost Siege is the red card draw thing. Yeah, exactly. It was Outpost Siege. This is Outpost Siege and Citadel Siege right now. Because they're doing a red card draw every turn and putting 2 counters on their things. I mean, if just presuming that we're all, you know, alive here, we'd want to crack this thing in our upkeep. So we can draw, like, the bounce spell. Go for the throw. Kaito, I guess, would maybe be the actual best one. Because we could get back the Fear of Isolation. Probably should have cast that one pre-combat, huh? Black, colorless, whatever. Is there any reason that I tap the other pain land instead? If I tap this Caves of Koilos, I'll have blue, white, blue, white, blue, black. I only have 1 card that I'm going to possibly draw. It could be like Cadaver Lab into Fear of Isolation's the only dead thing. It could be Kaito. I don't think this matters. Just trying to figure out if like 1 damages. Let's go to. Hey, Tithing Blade. We need that one. Unfortunately, they just have 2 Innkeeper's Talents, so we're still kind of massively up shit creek here. As soon as they find a second creature to put into play. Tithing Blade also each opponent? Cool. I mean, I guess I'm sending. Yeah, they just make a giant whatever creature they draw for the rest of the game. Seems fairly terrifying for me. Cool. Alright, just million. At least it doesn't have haste. It's like, what, a 6/6 or something? 7/7? Sure, why not? Bounce spell. The bounce spell goes pretty crazy. Kaito? Nurturing Pixie back the Tithing Blade takes 7. I guess the play would be Nurturing Pixie back the Fear of Isolation, the Tithing Blade them, right? I don't have enough mana to do any. This gives me a 2/3 instead. It's not getting better for me by not killing it, certainly. I'm 1 mana off of being able to animate Restless Anchorage if I just pick up the Tithing Blade. I guess this is worse if they have a removal spell in their hand, if I try to pick up the Fear of Isolation, huh? I don't think it matters terribly. Kind of wish they had drawn a worse creature than their Heartfire hero now, huh? A lot of their other creatures would not be doming me for 7 after doing this. Oh, they want to dome me for 9 instead? Yeah, I guess the Snakeskin Veil's not getting better. 10, 11 actually. Go to 4, sure. Ow. I can craft this. Alright. Alright. Wait, is that literally dead? No. They need another land, which they don't have. They just get the Screaming Nemesis and put me to 2. And I don't get to gain life. Oh, did I kill my other thing? Sure. Alright. Fair enough. Game did not work out how I wanted it to. I imagine Kaito, as much as I really wanted to draw it there, Kaito is not super exhilarating here. These seem very good. This seems very good. Yes, this seems very good. Are these cards good in this matchup? Is this like just for like the tokeny shit? What does this destroy in their deck? Not a lot, right? I think it might just be these guys, huh? This card seems a little slow, and these Spiteful Hex Mages fall medium. So something like this, maybe? Is this card worth it? It blows up Innkeeper's talent and kills those big guys if they get out of hand? Maybe see Destroy Evil being relevant to that matchup. It's probably better than these, like, fucking Spiteful Hex Mages, huh? Something like this. Seems fine. Is there a matchup where you're allowed to cut, like, you're just never are to, like, really cut these, like, one-drop enablers, right? They really make your Fear of Isolations and Nurturing Pixies playable Magic cards. Like, I don't know, maybe you're supposed to trim Hopeless Nightmares in matchups where your opponent's bringing an Obstinate Payloth. Would love to play first. Bunch of removal spells and Storm Chaser's talent seems fine to me. Oh, right. I need to get rid of that upkeep stop. Shoot. Make a little guy. Witch's Vanity, their thing that they play. Oh, man. I guess land go. Oh, shit. Never mind. That's way better. I think within the context of this hand, I don't want to, like, Nurturing Pixie Witch's Vanity. I just want to, like, put more things into play. I already have 3 removal spells in my hand. I want some pressure. Witch's Vanity, whatever they play, and then hold up cut down, I guess. Or they just don't play anything. Genuine question, will you actually play this at the PT since the regional UQ4 you just piled me lands? Yeah, but that's because the RC just didn't really matter for me. I'm genuinely going to play in the PT. We'll actually try. I guess we just hit him. Say go, hold up our stuff. The RC, I was not super interested in actually playing the RC for real. I mostly just went there to hang out, and I registered the deck to meme. Ooh, I guess we just bounce both of these things. Blue, white, then recast Storm Chaser's talent. Yes. I queued for the Pro Tour, and then I was qualified for the RC because I've queued for the Pro Tour. Therefore, the RC was pretty meaningless for me to play in. I just went there to hang out with friends, play some legacy sides, but yeah. I'll definitely take I'm trying to take the PT pretty seriously. My opponent is boarded in a very reactive way that I don't know how I feel about it. I guess I am technically, we talked about, I am kind of an aggro deck in some fashions. This card doesn't seem particular. Actually, it's kind of immune to everything in my hand right now. It's a little bit threatening. But we can also just kind of erase them right now. Just Pixie, Storm Chaser's talent again, punch for a lot. Hold up, cut down, I guess. Mana value 2 or less. Could just cast this for prowess and getting a food. Probably not the best. You can always level up Storm Chaser's talent to pick up this town ain't big enough to like try to help deal with the Screaming Nemesis a little bit, but it's a long ways away. I mean, if my opponent doesn't add more creatures to the board, I'll probably do it just by virtue of not being able to really hold anything up. That card is kind of a nuisance, huh? Constant thorn in my side, that Innkeeper's talent. Maybe we will just pick up this town ain't big enough. No attacks. Interesting. Alright, that's pretty good for me. Suppose they're probably losing the race to like triple prowess otter. Alright, Optimistic Scavenger puts some counters on, puts like a counter on Pixie if I just toss Witch's Vanity into nothingness. We'll just pick up this town ain't big enough and plan for a, try to play for a bigger swing next turn. This thing doesn't put counters on itself, right, to level up? That's not how that works. It will not itself have Ward 1. I guess I should have attacked first. Whoops. Yes, I guess my thing does not have a counter on it, so their thing will probably not have a counter on it. Sure. Another Paw Patch formation. It's fine. Don't really care if they blow up my Pixie or something. Questing Druid dies to Witch's Vanity. I can level up Innkeeper's talent if they want. I have to pay 3 to target the Screaming Nemesis, which is a little annoying. Level 2. They're at 11. Three's a lot of otters. You'll be able to figure out something here. Draw land. If we draw untapped land, maybe we can like. This town ain't big enough. Back Storm Chaser's talent. Play Optimistic Scavenger. Play Storm Chaser's talent. Double trigger Otter Prowess. That's 9, 10. That's 1 off, I think. Assuming that the Pixie can die to this Paw Patch formation, but maybe they don't cast the Paw Patch. Who knows? We could cast Cut Down on a 2/2 Otter instead of Optimistic Scavenger because the Cut Down would be fizzled by the Prowess, and it makes them. You just go like 1, 2, or like 1, 2, 3. That gives me 12 damage off Otters. Wait, this is all assuming I draw land, because all these are like 5-mana plays. Sure. Kill my Paw Patch. Dead as hell. Attacking this turn? They have like Burst Lightning? I feel like you're so easily dead here. Three, four, five, so this is actually only 7. Whoops. I can't hold up 2 spells. So if they do have a Burst Lightning, it's a little awkward. But we're still likely fine. Oops. Hey, we did it. One game 2 at least. Game 3 seems a lot harder. Yeah, those whatever they're called, the Screaming Nemesis is a little tricky to deal with. I guess we have a decent number of things that can deal with it, right? We have 7 pretty clean answers to it. This town ain't big enough. You can like finagle into an answer, but it's possible. Maybe we want more Destroy Evils since that blows up the stupid enchantment and also can kill like a Screaming Nemesis if it gets buffed a little bit. A lot of ways for them to put a 1/1 counter on it. They boarded like really reactively, so like it's possible I have too much stuff that kills like their tiny little shitters, but they boarded out a bunch of the tiny little shitters. But when they're on the play, I feel like they're pretty incentivized to lean back the other way. I think we have a decent number of answers. I'm not really allowed to keep 1-landers, huh? This is a pretty strong 1-lander. How many lands does the deck play? 23? I'll be disciplined. Hit the mulligan button. Alright, yeah, this hand's much better. Wait, hang on. Hang on. Maybe not much better. This hand actually can't cast most of its spells, huh? This hand's actually really bad unless we draw Black Source. This hand's, like, about as good as the last one, right? Because it's just, like, draw a land or we lose, but now it's draw specifically a Black Source instead of any land. This is, like, worse than the last one. It's really good if we hit, though, huh? Can we go to 5? My opponent mulled to 6. Maybe not really. Alright, well, if there are cards that can catch you back up in a game, it's keeping 3 land removal spell temporary lockdown, huh? Pass turn. Nice. Just play our tap land during this moment of reprieve. Not a ton of incentive to hold up cut down or something. Suddenly a lot of incentive. I really don't want to cast these scavengers until I play lockdown. Card's not technically synergistic, but not really. Oh, they don't have anything? We also don't have anything, so... Did you just forget to cast this last turn? Sure. Nothing to pair with it? Sure. No incentive. I just won't cast Lockdown yet. We do have to be a little scared because they did show us multiple the Pop Hatch thing that can blow up my Lockdown. So we can't just rely on this to carry me. Do I play an Optimistic Scavenger out? Just like bait something? I just have to cast this Lockdown next turn is the thing. Because I don't have to, huh? We could just cast this and hold up like nowhere to run. Maybe bait out some sort of like shock removal spell. A Torch the Tower, Burst Lightning. Perfect. Can't save it. Can't cast 2 instant speed enchantments. That's totally fine. We can then tag whatever their follow-up is with Lockdown or Cut Down or Nowhere to Run. None of my cards tag that. Oh, never mind. Nowhere to Run does. Questing Druid, sure. Is this my turn to lockdown? I think it is. They're tapped out of green mana too, so I don't get like I can prepare for a blowout if it happens. Lockdown into Hopeless Nightmare seems fine. Although it makes my Scavenger worse. I could just wait. There's a lot of things we can do with our mana, though. And we're pretty choked on black. It's our only black source, so we should probably cast our black spells while we have the chance. In which case I should have sequenced the other way, because they might have discarded like a enchantment removal thing. Wow, they boarded really mid-rangey. Maybe I'm boarding wrong, huh? Now we're in danger of some sort of +1 effect getting me. Never mind. I think the way I want to sequence this is going to be Optimistic Scavenger into Nowhere to Run, into like This Town Ain't Big Enough, Hopeless Nightmare, plus Nowhere to Run. I don't know when I want to cast this Nowhere to Run, though. Maybe on their upkeep? They have 2 cards in hand. Feels like I'm never going to be able to kill the Screaming Nemesis. I could... If we need another black to pair, cut down with Nowhere to Run. It's kind of annoying. Because we could like Nowhere to Run in, and if they have like a pump spell or something to protect it, we could potentially cut it down after he gets -3/-3. They could easily just have the +3/+1 thing. We just get super blown out. We could just wait, hold up everything. Cast nothing. Oh shit, they tapped out. Let's fucking Nowhere to Run this shit. Manifold Mouse. Moderately annoying. There's always a world where we pick up and replay Temporary Lockdown. But yeah, let's kill this fucking Screaming Nemesis while we can. What does this creature land do? Wow, that's kind of horrifying. Another attacking creature, okay. It doesn't need another creature, but it also combos with all of their, like, Valiant stuff. Makes sense. It's also a tap land, which means they can't, like, Questing Druid into double Manifold Mouse, which is nice. What am I doing this turn? Well, watching that die. And they double mouse here. I think we might actually just... This town ain't big enough. The Temporary Lockdown on end step. Or maybe we'll draw a land, an untapped land here. Although, how much did we take here? We take 4. We get to eat like the Questing Druid. This does not exile Soulstone Sanctuary if they just fire that up. It's a little awkward. What else am I bouncing? The Nowhere to Run, I guess, to kill the Soulstone Sanctuary after. If I do that. They have a questing druid which I can kill. Yeah, I think I just have to do this. I don't think I'm allowed to like wait and take 4, potentially like 7, just to try to eat the questing druid. Because if I just don't do anything, it's pretty suspicious. I think they likely just animate Soulstone Sanctuary and send. Or this fucking thing too. But now I can cut down or know where to run a questing druid instead. Oh, what the I can't cut down or know where to run that. Reveal burst lightning. All this is bad for me. They kept it on top. I think this one we cast. Oh, that's much better for me now. Oh, fuck. This black mana really haunting me, huh? Let's cut this down. I guess I could have just attacked and said go first, but I don't want to let them untap anyway. If we could find a second black source, we could like know where to run the Soulstone Sanctuary and then Tithing Blade the Sentinel. Then we still have to deal with this. They might just fire this up and hit me for like a bunch here, in which case I can at least Tithing Blade the Sentinel afterwards. No. Okay. If we draw a black source, we're alive here. Know where to run this, Tithing Blade this. We also can't actually map token unless we animate the Restless Anchorage. Because we have no creatures. Oh, they map. Oh, we actually would have got fucked if they. Don't they know I have this Nowhere to Run in hand? Shouldn't they have put it on this? Well, I guess we're just fucking dying, huh? Yeah, this is mostly just a symptom of. I think we could have played a pretty reasonable game here if our hand had functional mana, huh? Are we like literally dead? No, they can't animate this anymore. If they have, you know, like whatever counter spell, we're just gonna die. I just can't really afford to play around any of that. Draw black source, kill both your things, die to the Restless Ridgeline anyway. This thing does not exile Soulstone Sanctuary. I guess I maybe should play Tithing. No, if I play Tithing Blade, they could actually also stop it, right? I could animate Restless Ridgeline instead. Animate it. Now, if they just animate Restless Ridgeline, we bounce this. Nope, they're just gonna hit me for 2. Are they gonna like kick Burst Lightning me to death? actually don't know how I'm supposed to play this turn, huh? This. I'll just make some discard another card, which is funny. I was also just gonna kill my map token. I don't think we're quite gonna get there, huh? They have like enchantment removal? No, then they would have just fucking killed me. Okay, they're just waiting. Sure. Alright, fair enough. Rough beats. The mana did not come together there. Putting up a pretty good fight against Gruul, though. I think that was the... It took me like 1.5 games to realize that was like the much more mid-range version that won the GP, not just like regular-ass aggro. This hand is unplayable. This hand is unplayable. Cool, 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 cool. Thanks, deck. Alright, this hand does stuff. Alright, what are we keeping? This. Do we bank on this nowhere to run being good and just keep this? This optimistic scavenger doesn't look very good regardless. We could like turn 2 Fear of Isolation, pick up a land. That's not exciting. I think I like this more. Alright. Either a great or a horrible nowhere to run matchup. This is like the mono white deck, and we're just completely fucked. Oh, thank God, it's like green white shitters. Oh, wait. Huh? Is it mono white shitters splashing green? Or something? Yeah, I'll know where to run your stupid thing. Yeah, I'll just kill it now. If they play another thing, I can, like, Nurturing Pixie play and kill their thing. That's nice. This is not really a matchup where you want to be picking up nowhere to run. If this is just like mono white splashing for some reason, but this gets an enchantment in play for the optimistic scavenger. Yeah, they kill in response, but we get some map tokens. This will end up targeting something else down the road. Archangel Elspeth, huh? Nightmare, Pixie, Nightmare. Make them discard a bunch of cards. Nightmare, Pixie, Nightmare. This makes things 3/3s, which still puts them in range of this Hopeless Nightmare, so we can afford to crack 1 map token, right? I guess we just play land first, because we're always using 4 mana. Sure. That card. Splashing Beanstalks and Sun's Fall cost 5? Maybe, yeah. I don't think the thing that deck was missing was more draw engines, though. This is just like generic removal spell. This deck plays like a lot of like random bullshit in the 2-drop removal spell slot after you have Laydown Arms. And maybe this deck doesn't even get to play Laydown Arms anymore because you have to have like these green splash lands. Oh, we're just getting Wrathed, huh? Well, they needed to have, like, land plus Sunfall after, like, making them discard a bunch. I guess I just block this. Is there anything that punishes me here? They're just gonna, like... Just gonna get me? This feels like it's just a Wrath, right? Let's take the bait, I guess. I think that this definitely felt like a Wrath attack. Yeah, they just had Wrath, land 5 plus Sunfall. Alright. I think we just map onto Restless Anchorage to try to kill this Archangel Elspeth before it kills me. Would love to hit a non-land thing to get a counter on something sometime. I guess I'm still... The line is still available to me next turn of hitting a non-land card. Now that it'll go to 3. They should probably flip and jump the Incubator token, right? Because I can't know where to run that, and that protects the Elspeth. Nope. Just gonna bank on me not hidden. I mean, it's worked twice so far. Oh shit. Wait, this card's actually pretty bad in these sorts of board states, huh? Yeah, I think we just hope and pray. Oh, thank God. Nowhere to run? Do we want this? We might need to clean up this board somewhat, right? We're gonna have nothing versus like a bunch of 1/1s. But is drawing more nowhere to runs really going to help me against 1/1s? Not really. I think I mill it. Maybe they draw a card instead of carrot caking. Let's see what my opponent's plan is. Alright, thank God. We at least killed that thing. Nope, they just... I guess carrot cake's probably fine. The scry one adds more to the board. They are pressuring me somewhat. I guess you were right. Splash Beanstalk because Sunfall costs 5. Really doesn't feel like this deck is demonstrably improved by adding a third infinite card draw value engine. But fair enough. More power to my opponent. Just hold up animate to block plus nowhere to run, I guess. My opponent refuses to like draw cards or really do anything, so I don't really know what's going on. Fair enough. Maybe I'm not supposed to cast Nowhere to Run there. They could always just not Caretaker's Talent, though. They could always have just activated Fountain Port, or... Well, I guess this gives them the ability to draw more. Can I play Kaito and hold up... Activate Anchorage? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, exactly enough, actually. But I can't map token if I do, but... We're just gonna get killed. This thing's just gonna kill me, right? It's just game over. They just get to, like... Make all their creatures 3/3s, and we just get fucking murdered. They're gonna make another one, draw another card, and then we just... yeah, alright. I've had enough of this game. We mulled to 5... and kept like a removal-based hand against my opponents on what is effectively mono-white, super end-game value. That's just how that game's gonna work out. We board in these cards. We don't board any of these things. I don't think this is a pest control matchup, but maybe. Let's look at what our bad cards are first. I guess, we also want this. Yeah, it cycles. Probably fine. We just, like, fully take the role of aggro deck here. This is Scavenger into Talent, or Talent into Scavenger Talent? I think it's the first one, but yeah. A little loose, but let me get something going. Yeah, I think this is Scavenger. Although the Scavenger is the removal target, so it'd be nicer to spread the counters. I will put the second counter on a guy. I almost played that Courtyard out of habit here. Put the second counter on an Otter, rather than just going all in on the Scavenger to beat him down. Moto. I've seen people talking about Moto going through these lag spikes sometimes recently. Where, like, this sort of stuff happens. It'd be real nice if I could, target my Optimistic Scavenger. There we go. Then we play the second talent, put the counter on the other Otter. Draw Kaito, I guess. Don't have a lot of our other, like, super value engine-y pieces. I'll settle for, like, most non-creature spells. I guess this town ain't big enough would be nuts, right? Card would be very good for triggering a lot of prowess things. I'd be worried about, like, split up. But by that I mean I think we just fucking die if they have it. This card, I suppose, is a good plan B once we get split up here. I don't think it's worth just 2 damage. Next turn, if we don't have anything, I'll cast the other side. I guess it'd be worth 3 damage because the Optimistic Scavenger triggers as well. Did I board in the... I boarded in the counterspell, right? I didn't. That seems like a real dumb choice, huh? This is... We're not at the... We actually can't double Storm Chaser's Talent afterwards. This is a little bit less mana efficient. So maybe we just defiled Crypt here. Swing for 5, 6, 7, 8 damage. We could potentially work our way into like casting the Cadaver's Lab if they're holding up a removal spell in our Optimistic Scavenger. Although that's only if we cast this town ain't big enough, huh? If they just have like Get Lost here. We could potentially go like this town ain't big enough into Storm Chaser's Talent, see if they kill the Optimistic Scavenger, and then we could Cadaver's Lab it back. This seems like not bad. This town ain't big enough. Targeting this and this. This. And I need another blue mana. So like that. Spread the love, I guess. This is 10. Casting Cadaver's Lab is technically lethal here. There's no way they don't have a removal spell, though, right? But even if they do, they don't have a Wrath the following turn. Maybe we just go for it, huh? Put the counter on here. They kill this. They take 8, go to 5. This card's pretty messed up, huh? No wonder everyone's playing this. Let's put a counter on the Optimistic Scavenger. Yep. Puts them to 8. We can open up Defiled Crypt and cast Storm Chaser's Talent next turn for another, like, 3-ish power, right? 2 prowess triggers, and then Defiled Crypt triggers Optimistic Scavenger again. We can also go Defiled Crypt and then level up Storm Chaser's Talent, pick up this town ain't big enough, make 2/2s if we really want to. Overlord. Oh, they have to like chump block, but they might chump block into... Is that lethal? Kaito tap down plus Storm Chaser's Talent. That's gotta be lethal, right? 2 prowess triggers here. So this is minimum 3/3, 4/4. They can only block 1. Yeah, they're super dead. Blue, black, whatever. Yeah. Got there. Alright, bring this fucking no more lies, huh? Don't know why I didn't board that in immediately. Let's... I think that went pretty fine. That's pretty much how I want that match to play out, I think. Got pretty bailed out by some top decks there, but... Alright, this is kind of the complete opposite of the last hand in terms of it's not aggro at all. It might even be a turn 1 Cadaver Lab hand, just so we can turn 2 Fear of Isolation, so we can turn 3 Kaito. Because Fear of Isolation otherwise would have to like pick up a land. I do think this is a keep. Maybe we'll draw like the good one drop to play instead of this turn 1 Cadaver Lab. Maybe we won't. It's anyone's guess. Do I kill? I guess there's no reason to really kill beans before they at least are on their Overlord mana. God damn it. Do I wait a turn now? Hopeless Nightmare him? Also might just not hit land 3. In which case you could like Fear of Isolation into... I think we just cast our thing. Kind of need to curve out. If they like get lost this, I'm pretty sad. Pretty sad. We just need to draw land, like land into land here. Maybe like 1-drop would be okay. Something like Pixie. Alright, we can Caretaker's Talent that at least. We have 4 cards in hand. I think we're just not hitting land drops. I don't think we take this turn to like... We could Optimistic Scavenger? No. We just want to destroy this thing. This is an instant. Alright, I can just wait. Gotta just blow up these infinite value engines. Overlord. This works, right? Because they make a token. They make an everywhere token. Could they copy it too? Yeah, that's actually kind of sick. Overlord of the Hauntwoods plus Caretaker's Talent to ramp. Alright, Pixie does not pick up lands like Fear of Isolation does, so we are kind of fucking stuck on 2 mana here unless we activate a map token, which seems a little weak. Do we Nightmare plus Pixie Nightmare? Maybe we do. They're pretty low on cards. I guess we could just Scavenger into Nightmare this turn and then Pixie into Nightmare again next turn. That might be better, huh? Discards the 7-mana Overlord. Kind of extremely terrifying other 2 cards in their hand. But okay. Yeah, that's a pretty good one, yeah. Ramp, draw a card. Ugh. I could Fear of Isolation to hit my land drop again, but I just think I need to destroy evil this Caretaker's Talent. We just have to attack. Is it now the time to map token and pray we hit a land? And if we don't, we Pixie the Hopeless Nightmare and then cry a lot? I don't think so. Don't really think I want to like bounce in response to that. I think I'm just really laser focused on trying to not let them draw cards here. Presuming that we eventually hit land drops. Alright, well maybe we're actually just dead to this. Probably have to let them draw cards, kill Overlord. Then we die to this going ult. Everything's bad. Yeah, I think just everything's bad here. I think we just missed our land drop for a few too many turns here. Oh wait, this is impending? Shit. Just assumed that they had a bajillion mana. Wait, why? They only had 6, I guess? Cast, destroy target enchantment. still pretty likely to just fucking die, but... Third land is good-ish. It's just Fear of Isolation, Hopeless Nightmare you. Sucks that I can't Hopeless Nightmare them twice here. Pixie Nightmare. Yeah. We do have the Cadaver Lab Fear of Isolation combo, but usually you just want a bunch of lands to do that. Which we currently do not have. Is this another Overlord? Alright, sure. Fine. Fine. 3 Overlord of the Mistmoors. That'll do it. You win this round, opponent. I yield. Dang. Two straight matches of, like, dying. Oh, it's, like, not even mana-based problems. We only had mana-based problems in, like, that one game. The others were just, you know, classic, standard, mulligan, you know, get mana screwed. Not doing your land drops, die. Actually, let me run to the bathroom real quick before I start the next round. Because I really need to go. Be right back. Alright, we're back. Finish up this standard league. Despite our very middling start of this league, deck does feel very nice. It has a lot of, like, very cool synergies.
Do you know what you're playing for Chicago yet?
I have no idea what I'm playing for Chicago yet. It's like 2 months away. 1.5 months, maybe?
It's like less than 2 months, man.
It's like 1.5 months away. Oh, there's a new set that even comes out. Once we start seeing spoilers, we'll see if anything's, like, broken, or if anything, like, slots into the decks that are already good and makes them better. There's a chance that, like, most of this prep doesn't matter, and just, like, Aether Drift unleashes a bunch of, like, new powerful tools into the format.
Look over Jill. Look over Jill left.
Wow, she looks super comfy. Chat probably can't see it. Even if I move the camera, there's no way you can like,
No,
probably
not.
barely make it out. Got dog laying in her comfy little blanket.
Put her in a little sweater too, thinking she will
Why don't you just bust this out at night when she's bugging you in the middle of the night?
No, she won't.
She wouldn't?
She wouldn't. If you're not in this room, she's not interested.
Oh, that is true, yeah.
How many more matches you got?
We got 2 more.
Okay.
Classic, another one-lander. Great, love it. Love to see it. Alright. Alright, this hand's functional. I'll take a functional hand at this point. I think I'm supposed to bottom a land here, but every time you bottom a land in a 3-land multi-6, you bottom a land, you just instantly, you just never draw a land for the rest of the game. That's just how it works. But like this, we've got bouncers and bouncees. That's all you want. We'll draw another land. Be fine. It's the bounce mirror. I don't think my deck has this, but some of the decks probably do. Maybe not. Maybe it might be the blue-black version. Scavenger Stormchaser's talent, perhaps? Feels better than holding up nowhere to run and then my opponent, like, doesn't have something. Kind of put guys in play. Stormchaser's talent gives me a thing to potentially activate my... Yeah, they know where to run. My Autistic Scavenger is kind of whatever. It was never going to really live. If I don't block and I get Kaito'd, how bad is that for me? If I do block and they cast literally anything, that's also not great for me, but it's also like not the end of the world. Whenever your opponent just like snap attacks with 3 mana, it's just like I think you just want to block. Alright, nice. Now, how do we do this turn? I think it's just Fear of Isolation Stormchaser's talent. We could, like, Pixie talent, because that makes more prowess guys for future attacks. Maybe that's better. I guess it might be a little worse because now our hand is 2 2-drops and 3 lands, which means we might not be able to use all our mana next turn. But I mean, if we draw like a 1-drop or a land, we're mostly fine. Sure. This board is nice versus like a suspected Kaito as well. Like putting more things in play. I will also block this. Especially after they play tap land pre-combat, so I know they can't just hardcast a Kaito. Ooh, that's pretty nice. Discard another Fairy Mastermind? Alright, deal. Floodpit's Drowner, huh? They didn't even have the Kaito, huh? I think this is fine for me. I'll attack. And play Fear of Isolation, picking up Stormchaser's talent, I guess? Maybe I just know where to run this, actually? Hopeless Nightmare is not very good. My opponent's top decking now. Could push more damage, and Fear of Isolation could just pick up a removal spell, which might be nice when my opponent has nothing. Yeah, I think I actually just killed this guy. Their Storm Chaser's talent has no targets, so they can't spend their 4 mana. It's not bad. Reveal Storm Chaser's talent. They mill it, sure. I suppose my Storm Chaser's talents also don't do anything because I don't have any. This town ain't big enough. But we have a Restless Anchorage. We start sending pretty hard here. Could also just draw another Fear of Isolation. Is that better, really? I can just hold it for now. Although my opponent likely also has Hopeless Nightmares in their deck, so maybe. But if I pick up a card, could just pick up Storm Chaser's talent, more prowess triggers. What could they have? They could have any flash creature. They could have archetype, not archetype, whatever the cat. Enduring Curiosity. Pick up Storm Chaser's talent's bad against that. Pick up Nowhere to Run's good against that. Maybe we just pick up Nowhere to Run. I think it's safer into some number of cards. Could always have just sent with the Fear of Isolation and the Restless Anchorage and left back the Otters, maybe. Well, this works out okay for me, I think. They tapped 2 mana and then didn't. This could be a Hopeless Nightmare plus Hold Up Nowhere to Run turn. Could be Restless Anchorage shove for 4. Just don't shove with Otter Token in case of Enduring Curiosity. Oh, wow, I guess, yeah, that's how that mana works out, huh? I do have to go blue, white. Okay, this still technically holds up nowhere to run before I attack at least. I see. And then they kill my Restless Anchorage. Maybe I was supposed to get more value out of my Fear of Isolation and not play the removal spell game, huh? We're still ahead here, but although they get to Storm Chaser's talent back, this town ain't big enough, which is kind of a disaster for me. I think we maybe sack this Hopeless Nightmare on upkeep. We're definitely not casting Nowhere to Run next turn. What they pick up? Oh no, they drew their card for turn and then picked up the thing. So I'll keep this because this is a bunch of damage. So they're gonna discard the card they drew for turn, but this also puts them pretty dead. Discard the Fairy Mastermind they drew for turn. They go to 2 here, and they can only kill one of my things. And we can just cast an aura and run to Prowess the Otter for lethal, potentially. Oh, they bounce the Otter. Yeah, that makes sense, huh? Now we just need a Hopeless... It's almost like I don't want to sack this Hopeless Nightmare, because it's burst damage. But also, like, I would like to Surveil, and, like, if I draw other things to, bounce things, then I think I'm also still fine. It's burst damage if I bounce it, right? I'll just find the third one, it's fine. Oh. This Town Big Enough is good. So we'll keep it. Do I draw the land? 2? Just play the land? I have 5 mana next turn? I only need 4 mana for double Stormchaser's Talent. It's a little bit worse if... Now let me just discard that with nowhere to run. Bottom this, top this, say go. They drew another nowhere to, or this town ain't big enough. Picking up Storm Chasers and nowhere to run, so now they have a removal spell. We just play Spiteful Hexmage, say go. We play Spiteful Hexmage, this town ain't big enough, and then play Otter. We know that they have a nowhere to run in hand. So we play this town ain't big enough, pick up double Stormchaser Talent, then we play Stormchaser Talent, then we play Spiteful Hexmage, put the thing on the Otter, so we have 2 lethal attackers. Pick up this and this, paying like this and like this. This. What's up, Fire Shoes? How's it going? We're fumbling through this deck. Sure, okay, fair enough. Your last unknown was Destroy Evil. Not super great for me, but still kind of okay here. Maybe not. Kind of want. Maybe I should have kept that land the previous turn, actually. Because, like, the Stormchaser's Talent, this town ain't big enough. Loop is very scary with more land drops. Seems kind of risky to do. But I guess it's fine. I can only deal them 1 damage. If I attack, they just block, and then I cast Kaito, and then what happens? If I know where to run, attack them to 1, cast Stormchaser's Talent. I have 2 creatures. They have this time big enough in their hand, though, so they can bounce my Otter again and pick up their nowhere to run and then kill my thing. Play Kaito, tap down Otter. Is that insane? Put them to 1 there. They have to bounce the Kaito and... I know their hand is blank, or the card drawn for turn plus this town ain't big enough. Feels like hard cast Kaito. Tap down Otter is not actually insane. Put them to 1. I have 2 lethal attackers, one of which will have hexproof on my turn. They can, like, bounce the Kaito and the Nowhere to Run, and then replay the Nowhere to Run and kill my Spiteful Hexmage, but then we're still okay, because we have, like, Kaito and Storm Chaser's Talent and Nowhere to Run in hand. Cut down was really obnoxious because we had like lethal set up here with the Spiteful Hexmage and the Otter. But this Kaito seems really good here. They just have a Nowhere to Run, sure. I guess they could like... This town made big enough, the Kaito and then something else. Yeah, the Kaito and the Storm Chaser's Talent. Replay the Storm Chaser's Talent. They just are hitting enough land drops to establish the loop, too. Where they can start like leveling Storm Chaser's Talent, picking up this town, casting this town. But I think I can just Kaito tap down the other Otter and play Storm Chaser's Talent here. And then we're maybe okay. Kaito not hexproof with Nowhere. Oh, that is true, yeah. Weird fucking game. Blue, black, whatever. Nope, tap good, please. Cast my threat again. Tap down your creature. Cast my other lethal threat. They need 6th land here. That doesn't matter because we can kill it. Because we have Nowhere to Run in our hand. That also doesn't matter. They're just dead. We just kill both their things. Or we just kill one of their things and attack for lethal. Thank God. This matchup is ugly. Cast Nowhere to Run on Otter, attack lethal. What happens if a Kaito goes to 0 loyalty counters while it's a creature? Can I -2 this to 0? Oh no, it loses its ability to be a creature as soon as it loses all its loyalty counters, right? That's how it works. As long as it has 1 or more loyalty counters on him, it's a ninja. So yeah, it would die. Because if it didn't have that text, it would stay a creature until the end of your turn, I think. And then when it stopped being a creature, it would then die because it was a Planeswalker with 0 loyalty on it. Jesus Christ, how the fuck do you sideboard here? Is this what the pest controls are for? Were they just prepped for the mirror? Oh god. I don't know how good any of these cards are. This is a fucking mess. Like, almost all of these cards you could, like, argue for. I guess they notably are playing the blue-black version and not Esper. So there's a little bit less, one-drop focus, right? Someone took this to, like, literal second place. What have they gotten? What have they gotten here? Enduring Curiosity is definitely a scary one. That card is hard for this deck to answer, I imagine. They don't really have a ton of ones specifically, right? It's just Spyglass Siren, Storm Chaser's Talent are like the big things. So Pest Control might not be good against this variant. Destroy Evil does not exile, it just destroys evil, so it doesn't actually like take care of the stupid cat. God, I have no idea. Become control. I don't know what that means, dog. I was supposed to be looking at their list, not my own. My own list is literally right here. Become control. Sideboard. These cards seem pretty awful. These cards seem like very filler just in general. Take out the shit. You take out like the actual like shitters and stuff. Like these guys. Destroy Evil seem kind of mid. I'm running out of time. These cards seem better on the play than on the draw as well. When I'm on the back foot. I guess Pest Control Temporary Lockdown playing is like worse. Let's do that, huh? Oh shit. That seems fine. The classic temporary, the classic double Storm Chaser's Talent temporary lockdown hand. You can just sequence a little bit differently. I mean, it seems fine. We can go aggro, depending on how my opponent starts. But there's a chance we just want to like line up turn 3 lockdown. I fucking hate my upkeep stop. Take off that stop. Yeah, Luron seems like it's like maybe okay. It destroys like half of Enduring Curiosity. How passive do I want to be? Do I really want to be like go temporary lockdown? Kind of. Oh shit, I thought I hit F6 before I clicked on my land there. Into like talent, Pixie, or talent, Pixie talent. Map token, attack. Alright, more shitters. Good for my temporary lockdown, I guess. Cadaver Lab, good for my nurturing Pixie plan. It's all coming together. I think my plan is just slam temporary lockdown on 3. Talent Pixie talent on 4. It's a little awkward with my mana, because I have to play Underground River, and then I can't. Let's conceal courtyard, courtyard comes in tapped, but what are they doing that they held up a mana? Are they like holding up cut down or something? They held up a mana and didn't crack a map token. Maybe playing around a removal spell with mine. Would have been a really nice turn for a pest control, but temporary lockdown will be okay, I guess. That card's kind of obnoxious, but not the end of the world. I mean, fight through that relatively well. Oh, I was dumb when I was talking about that other turn, because that's going to be my turn 4. Kind of forgot about that. We just get to play the courtyard here. Underground Rivers for the turn 4. Kill 2 full Spyglass Sirens, but they start accruing guys. Card draw. Attacks while you have the most life. You draw a card. This is just slam. Oh, oof. This is when we start blocking. not blocking particularly well, but we can start blocking at least. Also a choke point of blue mana. But we can just like double block Curiosity, chump block Preacher, or die to Gix's command. I don't know the modes on that, but it's probably killing me. We have infinite chump blocking Pixies. One per turn. Seems pretty bad for me. Maybe we concede and move on with this game, huh? Alright. We'll go to game 3. I didn't even bring in this 4th Kaito, huh? Bring in these. So what do they have? Preacher of the Schism, notably. So we do want like some number of Preacher Schism not cut downable, but it's possible we want like stuff like Go for the Throat, maybe No More Lies. So I feel like it should seem kind of bad. On the play, you could try to get a little bit more aggressive, but oftentimes the Scavengers feel like they just like die and don't actually accrue any value. These are like very aggressive cards for when your stuff's not getting fucked with. Also, cutting down on the ones makes like the pest controls and the lockdowns a little bit better. Notably, the pest controls and lockdowns aren't that good, but this card has cycling, so it's not the end of the world when it's bad. It's possible the lockdown isn't good, though. Especially when we're on the play. We can do something like this. Kaito gets a little shakier when we're cutting a bunch of the 1-drops, but we have 9 creatures. I guess like 13 with the Storm Chaser's Talents. Go for that. I will not go for that. Alright, this hand's cooking. Keep. Just bottom this townie big enough and hope that casting Hopeless Nightmare 4 times works out for me. This card's really good if we find blue mana, but like we do have Cadaver Lab Nurturing Pixie is a like infinite pixie. I guess we could. No, we don't want bottom. Yeah, just gonna bottom this and plan to actually try to cast my spells. Just Hopeless Nightmare my opponent like 3 or 4 times, and then cast Nurturing Pixie every turn for the rest of the game. Seems like not a terrible plan. It's pretty aggressive. Kill my thing, it's fine. We just Pixie, Nightmare, Caves, Cadaver Lab back Pixie. Seems pretty okay to me. So we can sequence this in a way that they don't know that I'm gonna Cadaver Labs back another Pixie. So first we Pixie. Give your opponent the least amount of information when they're choosing which card to discard. This card is like feels like an almost unreasonable rate. It's like such an innocuous card, but if you look at it and like put it next to like Lava Spike, it's very weird. Obviously, it's like only good when you have these sort of enabler cards for it to cast it over and over again, but the fact that it's not just Mind Rot, or whatever, half a Mind Rot, you just also get to start burning them. I'll block. I'll do it. You think I won't? They have 2 cards left in hand. I could go for like maximum burn plan, make another 2/2, but I think I need to be able to threaten the Cadaver Lab loop, and we get to like hold up Normalize here, which is pretty nice. They also notably left the Storm Chaser's talent on top, which is interesting. We could even just sack the Hopeless Nightmare, but it could potentially be burn for us, so I don't think I want to. I think I'm just going to counter anything. I think it's a little scary. Nowhere to Run's a nice card. Nice pickup here. They have 1 card in hand. Maybe we cut the bullshit on the infinite loop and make them discard here. It is really bad if their last card is removal spell, but it's really good if it's not, right? Pixie, Hopeless Nightmare, put them to 7, have 2/2/2s. We have nowhere to run for this thing. I think I like it. Maybe this is like greedy though. Dang. Oh. We can kill this Spyglass Siren and then they discard the Nowhere to Run. Obviously, it's kind of a pain that they get to keep a 2/2, but seems pretty good for me. I don't think I'm sacking Hopeless Nightmare here. There's just so many cards in my deck that just like it kills them. And maybe we sack it end step, but I think we just take a natural draw step. Oh, that's a pretty good one. That sets up lethal. Opponent says GG's. We did it! That was a pretty sick game. Very cool mirrors. A lot of like I am not proficient in sideboarding at all, but the ability for this deck to like switch from being an aggro deck to being like a very value oriented deck, even like within just the sideboard plan, within like besides just sideboarding for that choice, you also get to like kind of make that decision mid game. A little bit hand dependent, obviously, but our hand was like very value oriented, but also the way it worked out, it just also dealt a lot of burn damage. But we could have played that game, very differently. If we were on the back foot a little bit more, we could have just had, infinite Pixie blockers with the whatever it's called, the room. Cadaver Lab. Oh, whoops. This is not my game. This is my game. I think we keep the sand anyway. It's got the combo. We'll draw black source. Victory chest match. Victory chest on the Daybreak account. It's an extremely pivotal victory chest. Oh shit, we actually drew the black source. I didn't actually think I'd get this far. I have some bad news about your second Land War Elves opponent. I have some bad news about your inevitable third Land War Elves opponent. You didn't know I was a fancy Daybreak gamer? Yeah. Sponsored by Daybreak Games. I didn't do my Playpoint giveaway because they haven't given them out this month yet. Kill. It's really fucked up when all your creatures are just Flame Tongue Kavu. Yeah, I'll kill that too. Okay, never mind. I won't kill that. This time I'll play another Storm Chaser's Talent, I think. There's no way my opponent has, like, Wraths in their Land of War Elves deck, right? There's just no way. My opponent can't cast Sunfall here. Oh, nice. They're not casting Sunfall here. Thank Christ. That's a pretty good one, though. It's a pretty good not Sunfall. Just send all. Seems like a pretty easy send all. Nowhere to run. Trade the Beza for an Otter. I guess I don't need to send all, though. I can just animate Reckless Anchorage, attack for 6 in the air instead. That seems like pretty okay. While they're short on mana here. More efficient use of my time. I think I'm gonna map token onto a Pixie. Reveals Spiteful Hexmage. You know what? That card seems kind of dog shit. I mean, it's a 3-2, but the ground is a little bit spoken for, I suppose. What is my opponent's deck? What's all these like random beanstalk decks of random colors? Played against green-black Beanstalk, green-white Beanstalk. What's happening? This is a pretty good one. Beanstalk Banded Modern. Your choice. No chance these cards are ever. No chance these cards are ever banned in Modern. Yeah, I don't think there's a single card in this deck that gets banned in Modern. That's fair. White. Blue. Oh, I tapped badly, but whatever. Green and white got second in the 10K, basically domain without the other colors. Interesting. Okay. I think I'm just gonna say go here and hold up this town ain't big enough in case something weird happens. I don't think my map token's gonna be the make or break of this game. It's possible I wanted to like map token onto the Restless Anchorage to make sure that I had to try to like find lethal through a Wrath. Although it might just be able to just kill these fucking tokens and shit, huh? This Overlord into Overlord. I think we can beat that. I think this is beatable. Maybe it's not. I haven't done the math on it. I think we might actually be only be able to put them to 1 here because we can't also animate the Restless Anchorage and attack. Ah! I'm casting this so I can F6 through this fucking end step. Kill a thing. I think I can only put them to 1. I guess I could potentially map token onto the other Pixie for a lethal, huh? Oh, that helps, right? That's lethal. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. Scavenger. Town is 3 mana. Bounce this. Bounce nowhere to run. 5 mana, recast, nowhere to run, kill another insect token. Optimistic Scavenger puts a counter on the other Pixie. Attack for lethal. Okay, cool. Bounce that. Bounce that. Blue. Oh, hang on. Send. Exact lethal. Yeah, we did it. What was my top card? Yeah, we would have got there with just the map token, even without the scavenger. But cooler to do it that way. Green and white domain guy is a local homie. The guy that won the 10K or my opponent? Domain without the other colors. What does that look like? Do they have... They gotta have like Sunfalls then? Just like Llanowar Elf Sunfall? That classic combo? I mean, notably, like, it's sometimes fine to nuke your own mana dork if it lets you cast Sunfall on turn 4 instead of turn 5. So it's definitely understandable. Just do this stuff. Board out a bunch of shitty spot removal and then get flattened by Llanowar Elves. Seems like a pretty good plan. This looks like a pretty consistent swap, huh? This pile of like guess this is in the sideboard. Is this like these 5 out? These, so we want the hell? Oh yeah, these go for the throats. There we go. A bunch of removal out, a bunch of like things that are good generic value stuff and good against enchantments in, I guess. And we'll leave in like 1 nowhere to run, I guess. Or maybe we board in the second Cadaver Lab. My opponent doesn't seem like they're probably destroying my things a lot. Does that mean I board out the other Cadaver Lab? Because it's kind of bad. They might have like Day of Judgment, sideboard split ups, stuff like that. If that's the case, maybe we just do this. Maybe I just like the idea of the Pixie Cadaver Lab combo too much. I probably do. I love like cute little like synergies like that. Hand is mediocre. Man, this Cadaver Lab looks pretty bad. But we'll keep this. Hard to sequence this hand. This tap land. I think the likely it's probably just. If only I had some sort of removal spell for this Llanowar Elves instead. It's probably just never play this Restless Anchorage until like turn 4 or turn 3 if I don't have an opening for Kaito. Because I want to Storm Chaser's Talon on 1. And then Nightmare on 2, and this, I can't Nightmare plus tap land here. We'll just draw like Pixie, it's fine. Or the Scavenger. Or another Storm Chaser's Talent. Dear God. Maybe I want to keep in my 1 mana removal. Well, shit. Doesn't seem very good for my odds of turn 3 Kaito, huh? Let's just try this one again. Let's just take a mulligan. Let's take a mulligan on that game. It's all good. It's all good. We'll get them next time. Get these fucking Cadaver Labs out of my deck. So cut down, like, I guess cut down you can always, like, snipe off the little, like, flying things as you're trying to, like, finish lethal like we did in game 1. And also, obviously, is very good against Llanowar Elves. So it's possible that this card is fine. You just want something like this. It'll be on the play, and it'll just go better. Do I just board out all my Hopeless Nightmares because I'm terrified of that happening to me again? Nah, they just won't have it. This hand is aggressively mediocre, but beats down a little bit. It barely beats down at all, honestly. Jesus. We have a 2-2 and a 3-2 on turn 2. That's it. We just have nothing. This town ain't big enough, I guess. You could bounce a thing. We have a Restless Anchorage. Also, yeah, I'm just gonna hit the mulligan button. It's fine. It's fine. They can't have the Baloth this time. It's impossible. Maybe we bottom the Hopeless Nightmare. Am I that scared of it? This hand is functional without this Hopeless Nightmare in it, notably. We just go, like, Scavenger into Storm Chaser's Talent. We have, like, this town ain't big enough. Pick up Storm Chaser's Talent, and it would be nice to pick up a Hopeless Nightmare, wouldn't it? But, like, Scavenger into Talent Nightmare is just nuts. We just bottom Kaito and just bank on my opponent not putting the card Obstinate Baloth into play. Scavenger, Talent, Nightmare just seems into, like, yeah, alright. They don't have it. It's fine. They absolutely don't have it. There's no chance that my opponent's going to put an Obstinate Baloth into play on turn 1. On my turn 2, I guess. There's just absolutely no way. There's just no way. I almost want to attack, because I just know it's gonna fucking happen. I just know it's gonna happen, man. Oh shit, it didn't happen. Holy fuck. Chat, we're doing it. Whenever I say there's no chance they have it, they always have it. This never works. This is like the first time in history. I guess we just Fear of Isolation the Hopeless Nightmare? This is really playing with fire. We could Fear of Isolation land. That doesn't do anything. We could, this town ain't big enough. That doesn't do a lot. But it sets us up nicely like next turn, because we can like double spell. Just replay both of these. Get a bunch of more triggers. Maybe this town ain't big enough is slightly better. They can't do... I guess they could do some scary stuff next turn. It could just attack and miss 1 damage. Miss 1 damage here, and then wait till Incept to cast this down and big enough. I could potentially bounce something of theirs. I don't know. I don't think I would bounce anything, but I could bounce like my Optimistic Scavenger if they cast like a Split Up or something. They're taking 4 to 11 or 5 to 10, and then double spell next turn would be +2 and +2, so it would be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it wouldn't be lethal anyway. Oh wait, 9, 10 with Hopeless Nightmare. Okay, that is exactly lethal. Okay, so we're supposed to just do this. If they just, you know, tap out for Overlord of the Hauntwoods or whatever. Overlord of the Hauntwoods. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Yeah, let's go. You're so fucking... oh, God. Well, we can attack through a Baloth. We do it like this first, just in case. In case they drew a fucking Baloth. They didn't. Cool. This is 6 damage, so I don't have to cast the second Hopeless Nightmare, just in case. This prowess triggers this to 3, this to 5, 8. They're dead. Turn 4 kill on 2 lands, huh? Not too shabby. So scared of getting Baloth. Oh, we got there. Losses were to... what did we lose to? I already forgot. It was the mono white deck splashing green. Did we lose game 3 to that? No. Wait. I completely forgot what we lost to. Oh, it was green red. Green red. Growl mid range. Not bad. I like this deck. I like this deck a lot. It's got a lot of like the cool, fun things that I enjoy, like little like micro synergies and like playing really bad cards in very cool ways. These are all things I really like about Magic. For those of you that don't know, all like the D&T player stuff, casting like Flicker Wisp and Legacy, that sort of thing. This deck feels very that. I mean, so does like the mono white deck, right? Caretaker's Talent and Carrot Cake and stuff. Very bad cards in high power formats. The deck's got pretty good vibes though. I definitely dig it. This will be on my list to continue playing. I also just need to buckle down and actually figure out some sideboard plans for like the decks that I'm actually interested in, because a lot of this is just me fumbling around and like not knowing in a sideboard, and people that actually play standard have much better ideas about, oh, I'm supposed to be cutting X, Y, and Z, and like this is kind of your role, and that's not something that I have a great perspective on, and something that I need to lock in more. But I really liked this deck. It played very well. The mana base didn't actually give me too much trouble. There was only one game that we kind of got screwed on black sources. The other games were just, regular standard getting flooded out or getting just not hitting out enough land drops. And then we also like killed on turn 4 with 2 lands. Very cool. Also good to dog, hey, dog, cut that out. That's not for you. Good to sit and take your time is what I was trying to say. Take your time, do the math on those lethal moments, like the potential of holding up our instant, but then we miss out on 1 damage, and turns out that 1 damage would have lines up to like exactly lethal. So with those kind of starts, it's always good to take your time, think through your plays. It's easy just to kind of go on autopilot. But yeah, really liked this deck. Unfortunately, I kind of didn't want to like it because I kind of wanted to just like blindly lock in a deck and trudge forward. But anything could change. There's a whole set coming out between now and the actual PT, so let's go find someone to raid anyway. Harain is streaming. Harain always seems to be streaming after me. It's a good time frame for him. Learning Saga Storm. Gross. I guess we'll raid him anyway. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Hope you come by next week. We'll be playing probably some more standard unless something cool happens elsewhere. Continuing my descent into this fucking madness of a format as a Legacy 1 trick. Send my love over to fellow Legacy enjoyer Harain, even if he's playing one of the evil decks. He's getting back to basics, which is always really funny though, so I'll allow it. Anyway, see you all next week.